How to Understand Jung's Theory of Individuation. Episode 9. This is episode 9 in our series on Jungian psychology. In this episode, we're going to explore Jung's theory of individuation. Make sure to watch the other episodes in the series first, if you want a better understanding of what we're talking about here. Links to all of the previous videos will be in the description below. If you're new here and want more videos on psychology, philosophy, and neuroscience, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future content. With that said, let's get into it. So the last few videos in this series have been pretty intense, and a lot of people were a bit confused by them because they introduce some abstract concepts and terminology that are uncommonly used. But before we can fully discuss Jung's theory of individuation, we need to first grasp these ideas. We talked about the collective unconscious in episode 6, which is a concept that's very important for understanding how Jung viewed the psyche. In episode 7, we discussed the archetype, which is an essential element of the collective unconscious that predisposes us to react in certain ways based on our experiences. And in episode 8, we talked about the shadow, which is the part of our personality composed of repressed traits and tendencies that we deem unacceptable. These 3 videos provide the foundation for today's discussion on individuation. Jung defined individuation as the central process of the psyche. It is the goal toward which all psychological energy is directed. Put simply, individuation is a journey that each person must go through to reach their fullest potential and integrate all aspects of their personality. Jung believed that the process of individuation is a lifelong journey that begins at birth and continues until death. As we grow and change, we encounter new experiences and challenges that shape our personality. Through these experiences, we learn more about ourselves and the world around us, and we develop new ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving. This process of growth and development is what Jung meant by individuation. But why is this necessary? Well, Jung believed that when we are born, we are not yet fully human. We have the potential to become fully human, but we must go through a process of development to reach that point. This process begins with the confrontation of our shadow, which is the dark side of our personality. By confronting our shadow and integrating it into our personality, we become more complete and whole individuals. Individuation is also about integrating the different parts of our personality, including our conscious and unconscious thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. When we are young, we often have a limited view of the world and ourselves. As we grow older, we learn more about both, and we develop a more complex and nuanced understanding of them. This greater understanding allows us to integrate the different parts of our personality, and that leads us to become more whole individuals. Jung believes that individuation is ultimately about becoming one's true self, the self that is authentic and real. This is the person that we strive to be, and it is the person that we can become when we confront our shadow and integrate the different parts of our personality. It is also the person we become when we accept our place in the universe and embrace our connection to everything else around us. The process of individuation is not always easy. It can be painful and challenging, but it is ultimately worthwhile. By confronting our shadow and integrating the different parts of our personality, we become more whole individuals. We become more true to ourselves and more at peace with the world around us. In order to understand Jung's theory of individuation, it's important to understand his concept of the psyche. The psyche is the totality of the personality, including the conscious and unconscious mind. Jung believed that the psyche is composed of 4 parts: the ego, the persona, the anima, and the shadow. The ego is the conscious mind, and it's the part of the personality that we are most familiar with. It's the part that makes decisions and takes actions. The persona is the part of the personality that we show to the world. It's the mask that we wear in social situations. The anima is the feminine side of the personality in a man, or the masculine side in a woman. It's the part of the personality that is irrational and emotional. And finally, the shadow is the part of the personality that is repressed and hidden from our conscious awareness. It is the part of ourselves that we reject because it doesn't fit into our worldview or because it goes against our values. Jung believed that all of these parts of the psyche are necessary for a healthy personality, and that they must all work together in harmony for us to be at our best. Now let's look at how these 4 parts of the psyche relate to the process of In order to begin the process of individuation, we must first become aware of our shadow. This is the dark side of our personality that we've rejected and repressed. By bringing our shadow into the light of our conscious awareness, we can begin to integrate it into our personality. This is a difficult process, but it's necessary if we are ever going to reach our full potential. Once we've integrated our shadow, we can begin to work on integrating the other parts of our personality, including our anima and persona. As we grow and change, we'll learn more about ourselves and the world around us. We need to be willing to change and grow if we want to become more whole individuals. Jung believed that this process of individuation is a lifelong journey. We are never finished growing and developing, and that means that we are always working toward becoming more whole individuals. Another important aspect of Jung's theory of individuation is the concept of synchronicity. Synchronicity is the idea that there are meaningful coincidences that happen in our lives. Jung believed that these coincidences are not random. They are meaningful events that help us along our journey of For For example, let's say that you keep seeing the same number sequence everywhere you go. Like 1111, Jung might say that this is a synchronicity that is pointing you in the direction you need to go. It's a sign that you're on the right track and moving in the right direction. Pay attention to these signs and synchronicities because they can help you on your journey of individuation. One of the main goals of psychotherapy is to help people This is why many therapists encourage their clients to explore their unconscious thoughts and feelings. By doing this, clients can become more aware of their shadow and other parts of their personality that may be blocking their path to individuation. Once clients have become aware of these blocks, they can begin to work on removing them so that they can become more whole individuals. Psychotherapy can also help people become more aware of the synchronicities in their lives. By paying attention to these signs, clients can better navigate the process of Ultimately, the goal of psychotherapy is to help people live more authentic and fulfilling lives. And that's why many therapists encourage their clients to So remember, individuation is a lifelong journey that begins at birth and continues until death. It's the process of becoming one's true self, the self that is authentic and real. To individuate, we must first become aware of our shadow and then bring it into the light of our conscious awareness. We must also be willing to grow and change as we learn more about ourselves and the world around us. Finally, we must pay attention to the synchronicities in our lives, as they can help guide us along our path to Jungian psychology is a vast and complex subject, and we've only scratched the surface of it in this video. However, we hope that we've given you enough information to understand Jung's theory of Remember that this is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle, and we encourage you to continue learning about Jungian psychology so that you can better understand yourself and the world around you. Thanks for watching. Until next time.